Hi guys, welcome. Sorry I'm starting this class a little late. My last class ended a little late. I'm late in this class. Sorry about that. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is our weekly series on metropolitan cities around the world. We talk about a new metropolitan city every week. And one person who I see in every class is Carolina. Hi
Hi.
Carolina.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Well,
Carolina,
first time I see you with curly hair and I
curly
really
hair.
like it.
You do? I last time I curled my hair, there was so much talk in the chat box, like, what did you do to your hair? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna hide my face. Screen share. Don't look at me. So I'm glad you like it. It's a girl thing. I feel girls like it.
Yes.
And we have Yuri. Hi Yuri. Seeing Yuri is like seeing a full moon. You hardly get to see it.
Don't worry about it. I'm sure after some week I decide all my project and everything will be okay.
That's
Be
us.
be sure it's.
And Yuri, I can see your picture in the chat. Can you tell us what that picture is about?
It is about small film, but I think its film was about New York too.
Yes!
Yes.
It was. So Yuri's picture is a ghost. All right, so like a spooky ghost, and there's a cross in front of it. That means no ghosts allowed. This is from the movie called Ghostbusters. Does anybody know what the theme song was for Ghostbusters? Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! That's the song for Ghostbusters.
That was an animation movie.
New ringtone for my phone. Thank you, Hina.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! That's the actual.
No, previous version was better. Yeah.
That's the actual song from the movie. So if you guys haven't seen Ghostbusters, it's a really fun movie, and it is filmed in New York City. And you get to see a lot of cool New York landmarks just destroyed in the movies. If that's something you like seeing, Ghostbusters is the movie you have to watch.
What's your favorite film from New York? Oh, okay, it's late. After some minutes, I ask you. Now you must be very polite.
I must be teaching. No, that's a really good question, and we'll actually ask everybody that question in class in a little bit. All right. So I can see people are still sort of trickling into class. Welcome everyone. There's actually, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sebastian, hi. I'll give you like the nice lower wave as well. So we have one more spot in class. So if anybody is interested in joining, you guys can do that. So welcome everyone. Like I said, this is our series. We do a class on this topic every week where we look at one new metropolitan city in the world and we talk about it. If you guys have traveled to this metropolitan city, now is the time to gloat and brag and share your pictures. So I would love to see if you guys have been to New York City. Please share your pictures with us and tell us your stories, what it was like going there, what you liked, what you didn't like, and together we'll talk about some of the common attractions and just share some information about this metropolitan city. Okay, today's city is New York, one of the biggest cities in the world. I have been there, so get ready to see lots of pictures of me. And so in the past we talked about Paris, we spoke about Venice, last week we spoke about Istanbul,
Toronto.
And Toronto. Our first city was Toronto. So this is our second city in North America. Santiago. Sebastian, you want Santiago next? You better be there for that class.
The first South American city.
Yeah,
capital.
that's true. we haven't covered any cities in South America, so I would love to. But if you gotta be there, I can't be like, okay, who has been to Santiago? And it's like nobody, and Sebastian's not there.
Okay, we'll be there.
All right, sounds good. So let's start. So let's start with introductions. Let's say our name, let's say where we're from, and let's say whether or not we have been to the city in question. So that today is New York. All right. So I'll begin. Welcome everyone, all those who are new and all those who are familiar. My name is Hina. I am your teacher. I'm from Canada, from Toronto, and I have been to New York. The last time I went to New York was in 2007. And New York City is actually, you can drive there from Toronto. So I drove with my family. It was like a 15-hour drive. So from Toronto to New York City, if you drive, it's a 12 to 15-hour drive. So I drove there in 2007 before I moved away to university. And have lots of pictures that I'm gonna just like shove in your face. Like, look at me with the Statue of Liberty. Look. That's me in the Eiffel. That's me in the Empire State Building. Look at it. So get ready for that. All right. So let's start with Carolina.
Hi guys, I'm Carolina and I'm from Poland. Unfortunately, I've never been to New York City, but now I'm actually standing next to Manhattan Bridge. I really love how Google Maps helps people with traveling, so now I'm standing there so you can join me.
Oh, so Carolina has posted a link in the chat. It says this page is in Polish. Would you like to translate? So I'm translating it into English from
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's totally fine. Oh, and Carolina has sent us the picture of Manhattan Bridge, and that's little her. That's awesome. Thank you, Carolina. I don't expect you guys to. This is not how I expect you all to travel. This is unacceptable. Okay, travel has to be, lots of money needs to be spent, and you need to fly there, and you need to stand there and take a picture. All right?
Maybe in the future I will.
Maybe, yeah, definitely. Call me, I'll drive down.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Carolina. Next, we have Mohammed. Mohammed, can you hear me? I think you're muted, Mohammed. So there's a microphone icon on top. You need to click on that, and that will unmute you, right? Because right now we cannot hear you. All right. So I'll come back to you, okay, Mohammed? We'll go through everybody else's introduction, and then I'll come back to you, and you can introduce yourself. Next, we have Norbert.
I'm Norbert from Hungary, and I have never been in New York.
Okay. Next to do on the list. Thanks, Norbert. What about Sebastian?
Hi guys, my name is Sebastian. I'm from Santiago, Chile.
Noted.
Santiago.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And no, I've never been in New York.
Okay. All right. Hopefully after this, everybody's like, New York. Okay. Who can tell me what the nickname for New York City is? New York City's nickname.
Big Apple.
Big Apple.
The Big Apple. Yeah, exactly. The Big Apple.
I don't know why.
You don't know why? Okay. Can you guys guess why it's called the Big Apple?
On the map, it looks like Big Apple.
It looks like a big apple. There's actually a circus. Circus?
One of the biggest city in the world, I guess, actually.
It's the biggest city. It's not. I don't think it's the biggest.
One of the biggest city in the world.
It's definitely one of the biggest cities in the world. It's the most populous city in the United States and in North America, I believe. Many Apple computers. Okay, Apple is actually based in San Francisco. So over here, there's lots of Apple computers where I am. All right. Let's move on to Yusel. Did I say that right? Yusel? Yusel Kumar. Oh, he doesn't want to talk to me because I said his name wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. Please talk to me. Okay, you're probably muted as well, so I'll come back to you and you can introduce yourself.
You have to dance.
In the last class, there were 4 new students. There were 4 new students in the last class.
I missed.
You missed it. I had to like do the samba and I had to like do the 70s dance. I was like, so many new students. Okay, let's move on. I'll come back to all the students who are muted or who can't talk. Vincent or Vicente, Rafael.
Hello, Hina. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm speaking from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have never been to New York too.
Okay, that's awesome. Everybody gets their time to travel in life. All right, thank you, Vicente. Next we have Yaroslav. Yaroslav.
Yarik.
Yarik. That was his name. I was like, Yarik. I'm writing it down. Okay, go ahead, Yarik.
Yeah, I have never been abroad, but I hope I will travel in many countries. And I joined this class because I am really interested in American culture. So.
Okay, perfect class for you to join. So if people haven't traveled, that's okay. That's why we have this series to kind of tell you where you have to travel. Because let's be honest, like the whole world is not worth seeing. No, I said this. All right, thank you, Yarik. And lastly, we have Yuri.
Oh, guys, I've been in New York, but only in my dreams, my films, and my favorite cartoons. Really, guys.
That's okay.
Sorry.
You're right. I know. New York is it's the city that never sleeps. So that's another nickname for it.
I think it's a city where I've never been.
The only nickname for New York is the city that I have not been to. All right.
Yes.
So let's see. Some of our more quieter students who have not been talking, maybe because of technical issues. Mohammed, can you hear me now? Mohammed. If you guys are having like issues with your microphone, you can't talk, then I would highly not just recommend, but I would request that you guys can exit the class and sit outside, because if you're not going to be talking, then it's going to be really hard for you to engage, because this is a speaking class. We are going to be sharing ideas and asking questions. So if your microphones aren't working, you're more than welcome to watch the class from the outside. That way you can give another student the opportunity to come sit in class and engage and use their microphone and stuff. Okay, and same for Yuslav. Am I saying his name right, guys? Yuslav Komar. Okay. And we just have Pablo who joined us. Hi, Pablo.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. Very good. Looking forward to joining this class with you.
It was okay. That's awesome. So, Pablo, have you traveled to New York City?
No, I have not traveled to the United States.
Okay.
I only have traveled around Europe.
Around Europe. Okay. Well, that's okay, because in today's class we're going to talk about what there actually is worth seeing in New York City. If all the hype is worth it, right? Do you guys know what that word means? Hype?
Not
Not really. So there's a lot of hype about New York City. It's like, oh my God, New York City, it's so cool, and it's like the biggest city in the world, and there's so much to see. So when you have a lot of excitement surrounding something, then there's a lot of hype about it. So there's a lot of hype about New York City, about how awesome and how fun it is. So in today's class, we'll talk about whether that hype is, it's worth it. Like, is New York really such an awesome city, or is it just, and people just say awesome things about it? Okay. So I personally think it's a really cool place to be. I hope to move there sometime in the future. Like right now, I moved to San Francisco, so I'm hoping maybe sometime in the future I could move to New York City and kind of experience life over there. Right?
From California to New York City.
What is wrong with that?
From
Okay.
place with perfect weather, from winter to summer, and from summer to winter.
Yeah.
From perfect ocean, from
That's
perfect people, from a lot of meetup, from good opportunity to job, from Berlin office,
To go and live in New York.
dirty.
Who
to
knows?
dirty.
Mad.
Maybe I'll set up Berlin's office in New York.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's like
Just because
ambitious.
of
Hina, why you not open you don't want to open a Verbank office to Moscow, for example?
I do. I do. I want to open one in Budapest, and I want to open one in Moscow, and I want to open one in what other cities were there? People
Santiago.
from all over the city. Santiago, in Istanbul, in Venice, in Paris, just everywhere. Pay for my tickets, and I'll open these offices.
And you will be there everywhere.
And I'll do it everywhere. I'll do it. I had a student from East
We
Timor.
have to clone you.
Yeah, I had a student from East Timor in the last class. Does anybody even know where East Timor is?
Indonesia?
No.
Yeah, East Timor is like right next to Indonesia, and I've never met anyone from East Timor. So I was like, wow, now I have to think about going to East Timor. Holy. All right. So I'm gonna shove it in your faces just because nobody else has been. And don't make fun of me, okay? I was 18 in this picture. Right? Okay, so there we go. That is me. I know the picture is inverted. I couldn't non-invert it in time, but that is
Our
me.
heads.
Yeah, everybody turn your heads. Turn your heads. So that is me in front of, what is that monument?
Statue of Liberty.
Statue
Yeah.
of
Liberty.
Statue of Liberty, yeah. What does liberty mean? Liberty actually has that's not just the statue's name, but statue
Freedom.
actually means, yeah, perfect. So Statue of Liberty, it represents freedom. All right. So there's
Do you know that? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you know that it is not a New York native New York statue?
Oh yeah, statue. Okay.
Statue.
Where? Yeah, you're right. So Yuri, where does the Statue of Liberty come from?
Oh, I'm not sure really. Maybe from Paris? No?
Yes, exactly. The Statue of Liberty was given to the United States as a gift from France. All right. So Statue of Liberty was like, here, freedom for you guys. So
Oh, it's very good present, I think.
yeah, it actually is. And
Guys, I have a small present, but you must move it
across the ocean.
Yes.
Across the ocean, yeah. It's
The next
It's like
birthday present will be
it will be a mini Statue of Liberty. You can buy those. Like Statue of Liberty is located, so it's not actually New York. It's not on like mainland New York. It's out in the water, and the Statue of Liberty is located on Liberty Island. All right. So where it's located, there's like an entire that island is dedicated to the Statue of Liberty. So as you can see in my picture, I am on a boat, and there's a boat ride that goes, so here, that's Liberty Island. So that entire island. So there's a boat that goes all around Liberty Island. You can get off as well if you want, and then you can climb up to the Statue of Liberty and see the city from there and everything. All right? So
she's a French girl.
She is a French girl. That's why she has that robe on. She doesn't want you guys seeing what's underneath. She's like, I'm a nice French girl. Not. Yeah, so it's on Liberty Island, and it's located in New York Harbor. So that area, so the water body that it's located in is New York Harbor, and it was given to the U.S. in the 1800s. I think it was 1886. So it was a gift from the people of France to the U.S. And the female symbol represents like liberty, just like we have in the justice system. There's a female, she represents justice. She's holding a scale. All right. So she actually is modeled after someone. So the Statue of Liberty, she represents Libertas. Let me write that down. Libertas. Who knows who Libertas was or is? Okay. She's the goddess of freedom. She's the Roman goddess of freedom. Okay? So the torch that she holds, that torch represents, as long as the torch is burning, it represents freedom. Okay? So what does that mean? A woman representing freedom, so Roman goddess. What are we talking about here? Roman goddess. So this is Roman gods and goddesses and believing and stuff like that. That is called It's called mythology. Has anybody heard of that before? Mythology?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there's Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, you have all these gods, and you know, like you have like I think Poseidon
Zeus.
is Greece. Yeah, you have Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus.
Zeus.
Exactly. So and you have
Athena.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
Hercules, who is said to be the son of Zeus. So that's Greek mythology. So Libertas is part of Roman mythology, and she is the Roman goddess of freedom. So this was given by France to the U.S. as a symbol of freedom. Okay, I don't know what they were free of, but apparently it was given as a symbol of freedom. I think the statue is iconic. Who can tell me what iconic means? Iconic.
To
Monumental.
represent a symbolic.
Symbol.
Yeah, exactly. It's symbolic. It's symbolic of freedom, and it was actually in the time when the statue was given to the U.S. In like 1886. That was a time when a lot of immigrants from Europe were coming to the United States. So if you move from Europe to the U.S., New York is the first city that you hit, right? Like if you get on a ship or if you get on a boat and say you start from France or Portugal, you'll end up in New York, right? So New York was supposed to be symbolic of freedom and a land of opportunity. So the statue was put there so immigrants could feel welcomed when they moved to New York from Europe, all right? So they wanted.
Now? And
Now you know what it is. Now when you make Hollywood movies, it's an icon that if it falls, then New York has been destroyed.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Maybe you can move Statue of Liberty to California.
California, exactly.
Because
That's the real
now-
land of opportunity.
Yes, because
that-
California now is first states for immigrants,
Yeah.
especially from Mexico.
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 Yeah, exactly.
You need a
That's good.
summer break or something.
You just-
Spring break. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, and yeah, so that's what the symbolism, that's what it's symbolic of, Statue of Liberty. So Yuri actually asked a pretty good question early in the class. So what is your favorite movie about or around New York City?
Friends.
Friends.
Serious, but
Yes, Friends is awesome.
How
Okay.
I Met Your Mother.
Friends
Yes, man.
is how okay. I don't want to lie, but but How I Met Your Mother is that filmed in New York?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah?
Ted Mosby's. No, Norbert, who is your favorite actor? Who is your favorite personage, characters in How I Met Your Mother?
Of course, Barney. Yeah.
Every man wants to be like Barney. Seinfeld. So we have Peter in the chat who's saying Seinfeld. Has anybody ever heard of Seinfeld?
Yeah, one of the best series ever.
Really? I
Yeah.
disagree. I don't think it's. I do not like Seinfeld. I don't know why. I never liked it.
This is
But
going to be a
Me too.
debate class. Hina.
why you should love Seinfeld?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm actually going to share a map with you guys. Home Alone. Home Alone was a good movie. Home Alone 2, right? Home
Yeah.
Alone 2, Lost in New York. So he gets lost
Every
in New
single
York.
year, it's in the television in Christmas time.
Christmas Day. That's true.
Every
Home
single
Alone.
year.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my God, make it stop. So I'm gonna share
Independence Day. They
Independence
destroy
Day.
the
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty.
So I'm gonna show you guys a map of the U.S. Okay, so these are all 50 states. So New York City is located in New York State. All right. So a lot of people get confused. So New York is written NYC. That means New York City. Okay, New York City. When you write NY, just NY, that's New York State. Okay. So let me show you guys the map again. So New York State, this blue state, you see it? So it's this, and then do you see this little bit of blue down here? This one? Okay, this is part of New York State, all right? So when you say that New York City is right here, right where my mouse is. So it's on the corner, it's on the tip of this piece of land, and this piece of land belongs to the state of New York. So this part of New York State, so NY, New York State, this part that touches Canada, up here is Canada. This all white space, this is all Canada. So the part of New York State that touches Canada is called upstate New York. Upstate New York, all right? Right? So that's something a lot of people get confused with. They're like, wait, New York City, New York State. New York is a state, which is this, and New York City is a city in the state of New York. So where New York City is, that's not upstate New York. Upstate New York is the part of the state that touches Canada. There's a very big city called Buffalo. Has anybody heard of that city, Buffalo?
Yes.
Yeah. Buffalo, that's the city you go to where you can
I know. Maybe they make cookies or something like that in this in Buffalo.
They make cookies. I'm not sure about
Pie
what.
cookies.
I'm not sure about cookies, but if you ever want to see Niagara Falls, then you go to Buffalo. All right. So, and if you're in Canada, you go to Niagara, the city of Niagara, to see Niagara Falls. If you're in the States, you go to Buffalo to see Niagara Falls. Okay. So that's something. Okay. So there's another show, Sebastian. I dare you say it. What's it called? He watches it. He so watches it. Sebastian, what's that show called?
Sex and the City.
Sex and the City. It's a very popular show.
Yeah, actually, the TV show was good. It was good. The movie, I don't think so, but the TV show was good.
I heard the second movie was really bad.
I think so.
Yeah?
Second one I think was kind of bad.
Yeah, I never watched that show, Sex and the City. I never watched it, but I heard from a lot of people who did watch it that like the movies were just, oh my god, really, really bad. Alright? Yuri, mute yourself, man. Jeez. Alright. Okay. So now we know. Okay. So there's actually a lot of TV shows. There's does anybody watch CSI?
Yeah.
Crime Scene. Yeah. CSI, so awesome. So there's CSI New York. That's filmed in New York City. Okay.
ER, I think.
ER, right? Yeah. ER was a very popular like show like House, and it was from the 90s. So it was based in New York as well. So
God, I'm old.
I know. I'm like, people are like, wait, what's ER? And I'm like, George Clooney.
Just say it from a couple of.
George Clooney started his career in ER and nobody knows about it. Anyway, you guys know who George Clooney is, right? Come on. So hot. Alright, George Clooney. So George Clooney, he is in Ocean's 11. He's in Ocean's 11 if you guys have seen that movie. So he started his career in a TV show called ER. And it used to play on TV in the early to mid 90s, and it was based in New York City. And ER was basically emergency room. He was a doctor, because doctors are that hot, right? So he was a doctor in a hospital, and the show was like, it was very similar to the show House, if you watch that. So the Deep Blue Sea, David, is that filmed in New York? The Deep Blue Sea?
Yes.
The new movie, right? It's a new movie.
No, it's all movie.
Oh, okay.
I have in my room the CD from the Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, and it's the one with the shark, right? The movie about the. Okay, all right. So another movie was the Deep Blue Sea. Has anybody seen The Day After Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, the statutory liberty is
destroyed. Exactly.
Great movie.
It was a great movie. Technically, it's utter crap because it wouldn't really happen like that. But the movie is really good. Like it's very well made. So when a movie has like good effects, I think the effects of the movie were really nice. Like all the snow and the tornado and stuff. It was a very well made movie. Go ahead, Norbert. Oh my god. Yeah. Jeez, Yarek just turned into a woman. Just ignore him. Norbert, what were you saying?
There was a big hurricane some months ago in New York.
There was a big what?
Hurricane or something like that.
Hurricane. Yeah.
It was similar, but in the movie.
Yeah, her exactly. And there's another movie by Tom Hanks called "You've Got Mail." I don't know if you
Oh,
guys.
Yes,
yes.
yes, I
Sebastian,
was
have you
there.
seen it? Yeah. So what do you
Yeah,
what
of
did
course.
what did you think of "You've Got Mail," Carolina?
Yeah, I really liked that movie. It was
Yeah.
really awesome for me.
Mm-hmm.
I am a woman, so for me it was awesome.
I find the man I love. It's true. It's a really good movie, and it's really nice in the sense because it shows you what like day to day living in New York is like. So it's very similar to Friends in the sense that it's not just, oh, I'm living in New York, but you don't show anything about it. You've Got Mail is about two people who live in New York and their interaction with each other. So it's a really good movie, and there's some very nice New York landmarks that are covered in You've Got Mail. Okay, so as you were talking, New York is actually one of the world's largest natural harbors. Okay, what's a harbor? I'm gonna write that down. Okay, what is a harbor? And New York is one of the world's biggest natural harbors. Who can tell me what that is? Mm-hmm.
Is the place next to the sea where some boats are
Ships.
parked there, or some
Yeah,
ships
exactly.
are parked there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So the New York harbor is one of the biggest in the world. Another really big harbor is in Halifax in Canada. Halifax is a city in state Nova Scotia. So this is the Halifax harbor is one of the biggest harbor, one of the biggest ports in Canada. Okay, and New York is the biggest natural. So you didn't have to build it in the sense that you didn't have to shape it. It's naturally shaped and it's naturally as big as it is. All right. And what are some boroughs? Okay, I'm gonna write that word down. Boroughs. So what are some boroughs around New York City? What is a borough?
Manhattan.
Okay. Manhattan is a borough. What is a borough?
So district.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very good way of saying that. So New York is made up of 5 boroughs. All right. So let me show you guys the. I actually just took this straight from one of the best websites in the world, Wikipedia. Oh yeah. All right. So this is New York City, and it's 5 boroughs. All right. So you were saying, Norbert, what are the 5 boroughs in New York City?
I just know one, Manhattan.
Manhattan, yeah.
Brooklyn?
Manhattan's one of Brooklyn,
Brooklyn,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Manhattan. Brooklyn.
Garden.
Harlem? What did you say? No? Okay, so Brooklyn, Manhattan. Queens, has anybody heard of Queens? The King of Queens, there's a TV show called The King of Queens. All right, Queens.
I listened that with one friend when I was painting his room one day.
Was the Queen, the band, the Queen, the band? There's a
No,
band.
listening, he was saying, the King of the Queens. Yeah, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I said that because I was painting and I paid attention.
Exactly. So King of Queens is a TV show just like Friends, and it's filmed in Queens, which is one of the boroughs in New York. So I'm writing the names of the 5 boroughs. So Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. Okay. Has anybody heard of the Bronx?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
Oh my God, J Lo is talking about it.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I listen them, but not more.
No? Okay. So who can tell me? So Yuri, what have you heard about the Bronx?
I watched a film with Jackie Chan about Bronx.
I feel like everybody's knowledge about the U.S. comes from movies.
Sorry.
It's like I know this. I saw it in that movie. I know this. I saw it in that TV show. I'm like, okay, cool. I feel like everybody's knowledge about the states comes from what they've seen in movies. But yeah, the Bronx is considered to be one of the. It's a part of New York where people who are not as rich live. So it's very high in the African American population. So it's not, I wouldn't say there's poverty, but people there, they don't live like lavishly like you live in Manhattan. So they're like small houses. There's not that many businesses. So the Bronx, is considered to be one of like socially, it's where the people who don't have a lot of money that they usually live in the Bronx if they live in New York. And who is from Bronx? Tell us.
J-Lo.
J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. She writes. Has anybody heard that song Jenny from the Block?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah?
It's awesome.
Sorry, yeah, so Jenny. Jenny, I thought you loved me. Okay, Jenny. So Jenny from the Block. That song is about J-Lo and how she grew up in the Bronx. All right? So Bronx, people who live in the Bronx, they tend to be very, brother and sister and NTV, because they've lived through hard times, basically. Staten Island. What is Staten Island? Staten Island is another part, so it's one of the 5 boroughs that make up New York City. The Bronx, what we just spoke about, is actually on mainland. So mainland, what does mainland mean? No? Nothing?
New York?
Yeah, so New York, I don't know if you guys know this, but New York is actually islands. New York is 4 or...
Continent.
Continent? Continent is a big piece of land, like Europe is a continent, Asia is a continent, all right? This is an island, so let me show you guys. Let me share my
Actually, in Europe, Europe is not continent. It's
Europe?
Eurasia.
Eurasia, that's the part, that's Europe and Asia together, all right? So you guys can actually read this article, The Borough of New York City, if you're interested, all right? So we have these 4 here. So we have 1 is Manhattan, 2, this is Brooklyn, 3, this is Queens, 4 is the Bronx, and 5 is Staten Island. Can you guys see that this is an island? Like it's not connected to the land, right? So 4, which is the Bronx right here, this is connected to mainland USA, all right? So this is connected to mainland. Mainland is the main is the block of the country, all right? So here, let me show you guys. This is all mainland. This entire block of USA is mainland USA. There are two states that are not connected to mainland USA. Which 2 states are those? Okay. Did everybody know of the state?
Alaska.
Alaska. Yeah.
Alaska.
Where is Alaska? What country is Alaska
Next to
connected
Canada.
to?
And Hawaii.
And Hawaii, exactly. So you have Alaska and Hawaii. They are not part of mainland USA. So mainland USA is where most of these states are. All right. So this is a solid block of land. Okay. So when you look at these boroughs, 1, 2, 3, and 5, these are islands. Okay. They are not connected to this mainland USA. The only borough which is connected to mainland USA is the Bronx. So number 4. Okay? You guys understand what mainland means?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right? And New York
Hina.
has... Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty isn't a state in island?
No. Statue of Liberty is its own island, Liberty Island, and it's a very small island. It's literally an island. There's just the Statue of Liberty on it. That's it.
Oh, it's
Right?
it's for it's for the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's for the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is on its own island. That island is called Liberty Island. All right? So it's not one of the boroughs. One of the boroughs is Staten Island. We'll talk about Staten Island as well in a little bit. All right? Okay, sorry, there's some noise coming from Yuslav. I'm going to mute you just because it's noisy. All right? Okay, so let's see. So now that we've covered a little bit of geography about New York, so New York has 2 airports. Who knows what the 2 airports are in New York?
New York.
Kennedy.
JFK?
Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy, the JFK airport, and what else?
New York. I work at the airport in Barcelona.
He's like, I should know these airports. That's the
New
other.
York. I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay, I actually have only ever flown into JFK as well. There's actually another airport. It's a smaller one. So let me show you guys a picture. But JFK, so there is a local, which I think JFK is the local. I'm not too sure. And then there's also the international airport. So John F. Kennedy and oh my God, I had it written
Newark.
down. It's not called New York
Newark?
Airport. Is
No.
it New? I think is it New York Airport? I'm not too
Newark.
sure.
I think it's so.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Newark. Yeah, so it's Newark. Yeah, New York Airport. So that is like the local. So Peter already did. So that's the local airport. JFK is the international. So if you are flying from say Barcelona or Moscow and you're flying into New York, you would fly into JFK. All right. JFK is like the big, and I can actually show you. It's actually the bigger airport, and it's out the water. Newark is like a smaller airport. It's at the back. It's more for local flights. Right? So there's two major airports that serve New York City as well. Okay, so what other attractions do you guys know of? So we already spoke about the Statue of Liberty. What other attractions? And we spoke about the boroughs, so the 5 districts that are in New York City. What are some other attractions over there in New York?
Empire State Building.
Empire State Building, yeah. Empire State Building.
Yellow
Central
taxis.
Park.
Ah, yellow taxis. Okay. What did you say, Norbert?
Central Park.
Central Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Central Park.
Apple Store on 5th Avenue.
Apple Store. That has anybody seen that Apple Store? It's like it's made to look like a transparent cube. So it's a store made completely of glass. All right. 5th Avenue. I think the avenue in Park is called Times Square. Has anybody heard of Times Square?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So when you stand at Times Square, there's a very popular saying. I'm not sure how it goes, but it's like if you stand in the middle of Times Square, you meet everybody in the world or something like that. Because it's such a populous city. There are people from all over the world who are constantly in New York coming in and out. So it's a popular saying. So Norbert, oh wow! So let's look at that picture. I'm going to share that picture Norbert just sent us. So that is what view is this of Central Park? So this is from
Bird
above.
view.
Bird's eye view. It's called bird's eye view. All right, bird's eye view. What's another way of saying bird's eye view? Aerial view. No, aerial view. Okay, so an aerial view is a view of something that you look at. You look at the thing from top. So we're looking at Central Park from top. This is aerial view of Central Park. It's actually really big, isn't it? Like there's so many buildings and there's so much construction, and in the middle there's just this like one park, right? The buildings in New York are very popular. There's a specific name for them. What are they called?
Skyscraper.
Yeah, skyscrapers. What does that mean? I mean, just based off the name, what do you think?
Very
As high
high.
as
Very, very high. Yeah. So it looks like they're touching the sky, right? So buildings in New York are skyscrapers. The Empire State Building. Why is that significant? Why was that important? Yuri, you're the one who pointed it out.
Because from each part of New York you can see Empire State Building.
Yeah, that's very right. So Empire State Building, you can see it from wherever you are in New York. And in the 90s, it was I think it was the 80s, it was the tallest building in the world. All right. So when the Empire State Building was built, it was one of the tallest in the world. And then there were 2 buildings that were taller than Empire State Building, and they were also in New York. What were they called?
It was
It's the Twin Towers. Come on, guys. All over the news. The world has changed because of them. All right. So the Twin Towers. So the Twin Towers were two of the tallest buildings in the world as well. Do you know that they're building a new building in that location? So where the Twin Towers, when they fell, what is that area called?
Zero.
Ground zero. Ground zero. Okay. So where the Twin Towers fell in 2001. There were no buildings there for like 10 years. They just left it as it is, and that part of the city was called Ground Zero. But now they are building a new building there, and that building is going to be called Freedom Tower. Okay, So construction on this has already started. So I guess they're going with the whole Statue of Liberty and like Freedom Tower, going with like the whole freedom theme. Okay? So now it's they're, I think it was like finally after 10 years they're like, okay, we should probably build something here. So now they're building building Freedom Tower. Broadway. What is Broadway, guys? Who has heard of that?
So theater.
Me.
It's a
I was
street.
in the place.
Yeah,
Yes.
Broadway is a street, and there's and it's in Times Square. So Broadway is basically a part of Times Square, and what happens there? Why is it so popular?
A lot of plays, theater
Yeah,
play.
theater. All right. New York is very well renowned. Well renowned. What does that mean? Well renowned. Okay. Very,
Well known worldwide.
yeah, well known and established. Okay, so New York City is very well renowned, is world renowned for its theater. All right, so people from all over the world who want to be theater actors, they try to make it big in New York City because that's where all the theater plays happen. So Yuri's like me, that's me. I'm your next theater actor. All right.
Yes, if I ever, if I meet New York, I visit theater, I'm
Yeah.
sure, and museum.
And museum. Yeah, the museums are very, very well known in New York. What are some of the museums in New York? Who can-
MoMA. The
MoMA?
MoMA.
Okay. There's actually
The
a
Museum
MoMA
of Modern Art.
yeah, Museum of Modern Art. Yeah. So what else? What other museums are there? There's the Met. It's not really a museum, but it's like, hold on, my thing, like, oh my god, my thing is completely frozen. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Sorry,
Guggenheim?
Sorry, what did you say, Pablo?
Guggenheim Museum?
Well, I actually haven't heard of that. So, has anybody heard of that?
The Guggenheim.
The Guggenheim.
Yeah, what is that? What happens over there? Oh, it's modern and contemporary international art. Yeah, so like I said, there's lots of museums in New York. I don't know all of them. I'm not going to claim to know all of them, but they're mostly around art. All right. What about the Natural History Museum? Has anybody heard of that? The Natural History Museum?
Yeah.
Yeah, Natural History Museum is one of the biggest museums of this kind. So Natural History Museum, there's like a dinosaur section. So there's like dinosaur fossils, and it's basically the evolution of living organisms. So if you want to see how we have evolved from the tiny single cell organism, the Natural History Museum is where you're supposed to go. It has beautiful displays. So there's lots and lots of museums in New York. You can like dedicate an entire week to just museums.
Is this free or?
It's free. Like all the museums in North America, even in Canada, there are certain days when they're free. So if you could go on Wednesday, like Wednesday after 3 p.m., it'll be free. Yeah. You know, or like
in United States, United States has a government program. The best museum has they free, but you can pay what you want, and it's sponsored from government.
Like in London.
Like in London, yeah, like London's museums. Go ahead.
You could pay if you want, but it was free.
Yeah, exactly. And in New York, it's not, I'm not going to say it's free, but there are certain days when it's free. It's free if you're a student. For example, if I go to university or college and I have my student ID and I take it with me, then it'll be free for me. But most people have to pay certain days of the week. It's free though. Okay. And there are some really big universities in New York as well. Who can tell me what they are? Okay. Has anybody heard of Columbia? Columbia is an Ivy League university. What's an Ivy League university? Ivy League.
The most popular and yes, the most prestigious university.
Most prestigious, yeah. So in the United States, there are 8 Ivy League universities. They are considered the best universities in the world. Like, there are no universities better than them. All right. So there's Harvard. Has everybody heard of Harvard?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Where's
Sorry.
Mhm.
It may be not the best, but the most expensive.
It's true. It's the most expensive. It's true. I mean, Ivy League education is considered to be very, very expensive, and most people cannot afford it. If you are that smart that you can go to an Ivy League university, then the university will pay for your education. You don't have to pay for it because most people cannot afford it. Like to go to Harvard is like $40,000 per year. That's 1 year, and if you have to go for 4 or 5 years, that's like people cannot afford that.
Crazy.
All right, that's crazy. It's $40,000
And
per year.
is Harvard in New York?
So in New York, yeah. So what did you say?
Is Harvard in New York?
Is
Is
Harvard,
Harvard
no,
located in
Harvard,
New
no,
York?
Harvard is not in New York. I was just saying that Harvard is an Ivy League. Where is Harvard located, guys?
It's in Boston.
California?
Yeah,
Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts. All right.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Massachusetts is a state which is like above New York State. All right. So Harvard.
Harvard in California, I think. No?
No. Stanford. Stanford is in California. Yeah. So Stanford is in California. Harvard is in Boston. And then you have Princeton.
Princeton. I know
Yeah.
about it.
Princeton. Princeton is in New Jersey. So New Jersey is the state. So you have New York, which is the state, and right next to New York is New Jersey. So Princeton is in New Jersey. Columbia is in New York, and Columbia is an Ivy League university. So Columbia is considered to be a university like Harvard or Princeton or Stanford, right? There's also Yale. Has everybody heard of the Yale?
Yeah.
Yale is another
Yes.
Ivy League university.
I don't hear.
You haven't? Okay, but these are all Ivy League, so you guys can look it up. Ivy League
I heard
universities.
you on there.
And
Yeah,
I
go
heard you on
ahead.
there.
Go ahead, Norbert.
can I ask where is Yale?
Where is Yale? I'm not sure where Yale is, but Yale is also in like the Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey states. So all the Ivy League universities are located in northeastern USA. So northeast USA. All the Ivy League universities are located there. So Columbia is one of them, and it's in New York City. Another really popular university, it's not Ivy League, but it's a very good university, is New York University. Well, duh. It's in New York. Duh. All right. So New York University is another very big, very popular university. And then Rockefeller. Has anybody heard of that word, Rockefeller?
Yes, it's personal.
Yes. About the heavy last
What did you say, David?
Rockefeller, like one cartoon that I saw when I was a child.
Yeah. So Rockefeller was a person, and he set up.
Billionaire.
He was a billionaire, and there is Rockefeller Square in New York City. Just like there's Times Square, right? Like Times Square is a huge part of the city. There's Broadway, there's all these streets. There's also Rockefeller Center. Okay, Rockefeller Center. And it's not as big as Times Square, but it's very beautiful. There's like statues and there's fountains and you have cafes and you can drink coffee. So Rockefeller University is named after the person Rockefeller, and he set up a very important film industry in New York. So movies are made in Hollywood, right, which is in California. But Rockefeller, back in like the 1920s, he was somebody who said that there was supposed to be a film industry in New York as well. So he brought the film industry from California to New York. So there's a university named after him, Rockefeller University, and then there's the center, Rockefeller Center in Rockefeller Square. So Rockefeller Square is actually another very popular attraction in New York City that a lot of people go to see. Okay?
Okay, but we choose University of Waterloo.
You guys are awesome. Then you gotta need to move a little north into Canada, into the frozen north, and then you get to the best school. I'm from University of Waterloo, for all those who don't know. Okay? And has everybody heard of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Wall
Yes.
Street. There you go. So guess what? Wall Street is in New York. And do you guys know about the New York Stock Exchange?
Yeah.
New York Stock
Yes.
Exchange?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is one of the biggest stock exchanges in the world. When the Twin Towers, when they fell, the reason that it was such a big deal is because New York Stock Exchange is considered to be like the hub of all stock exchange in the world. So most of the money going in and out of the states, all the money that is on exchange, it goes through New York. So and it's very it's a very interesting sight to see all these people from Wall Street and New York Stock Exchange and just like talking about it's really crazy. If you ever go there, it really is the way it is in the movies. All right?
But now it's not as crazy because internet coming to financial sphere and and now a lot of financial operation
Yeah.
making in internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And Wall Street, it is one of the most technology part of world, like California.
Yeah, exactly. But back in like 2001, when the Twin Towers fell, it wasn't like that. It was still New York Stock Exchange was the place. It was the most important part of the U.S.
11th of September, I guess, yeah?
September 11th, yeah, September 11th, 2001. So it's been all like over 10 years now. But when it happened in 2001, the internet was not as important and as widespread as it is now. So it was a really big deal. So, but now because of internet, it's not. Stock exchange can all be done online. But back in 2001, it wasn't online. It was all through New York. So New York Stock Exchange is a pretty prominent part of New York City. Okay. Anything else? Did we miss any features of New York? Anything that is like definitely worth seeing? We saw where friends live. All right. So if you go to New York, you have to see the apartment where friends live. All right. It's
oh no, go on.
No, it's right next to Central Park, and people, you'll see it. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's just this random building, and you'll see people just standing outside the building, like, this is where friends live. Take a picture of me. So it's actually an attraction on its own. Where friends live, it's an attraction on its own. All right. Let me know if I think we covered almost all the features of New York City. I hope you guys are now like must save money to go to New York and see all 5 boroughs and all the museums and all the tourist attractions and everything. It's a very interesting city, and like I said, I actually hope to move there sometime in the future, even if it's just for a little bit. All right, but I'll keep you guys
From
posted.
California.
From California. It snows. It snows in New York. So if you guys have seen Day After Tomorrow, so it snows in New York. So.
Hina, you only saw us one picture.
Oh, I can show you another picture. I mean, if you guys really want to see it, like I guess I could show it to you. Let me show you a picture with my brother, and you can tell me what is in the background. Okay, so let me show you.
Okay.
That's my brother and I, and what is in the background? So you see all of New York, and what bridge
Brooklyn
is that?
Brooklyn Bridge.
There you go. So that's Brooklyn Bridge, and that's New York. And guys, I was 18 in this picture, so don't say shit. All right. All right. So that's Brooklyn Bridge, and that's New York City, with my brother in the back. All right. There we go. I indulged you guys. I showed you a picture. I'm out for right now. It was so much fun talking to you guys, as it always is. I'll be back in a couple of hours with more classes. All right. And you have to let me know what city you want for next week. All right?
Santiago.
All right, Santiago. So it's always the same time. All right. Sebastian, so it's
Okay.
going to be Wednesday, 12 p.m. my time. So you better be there. Next week, we're going to cover Santiago.
Cool.
All right?
Okay, I will
see
be
you
there.
guys. All right, see you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye, Hina.